Hey, what is up there, guys? This is Cobb and welcome to another Sunday's vlog. We got a lot to cover in this one, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. I was going to make this one very focused on future projects and stuff like that, but I did get a burning question that I'm excited to answer about Ashes of Creation that I want to go ahead and answer first. So we talked about Ashes of Creation a little bit in last week's episode, and that's what's prompted this question. So if you don't know, Ashes of Creation is an MMO that's currently in production. Hopefully in the next couple of years it might roll out. It's not like super close to release, right? You can follow like monthly dev diaries and all of that kind of stuff, and yeah, it's extremely ambitious. They're trying to do a lot of new stuff, and that's why it's caught a lot of people's eye, you know, that are looking for something different, for life to be breathed into the MMO genre once again, with a development team that really gives a fuck. So, yeah, man, Ashes of Creation, look into that shit. Having said all of that, the first question does come in from Mr. David Bell. And after you, David, we're going to get straight into the members' questions. But I did want to answer this one first. And he asks, since you spoke about Ashes of Creation last week, what classes would you be interested in playing, as there are many class combos? Also, what is your interpretation of what those classes should play like? Okay, so first and foremost, if you don't know, Ashes of Creation has eight primary classes, right? And 64 subclasses, or kind of like specializations, right? So it's launching with a shit ton of classes and a shit ton of customization, right? The idea is that you pick a primary class, one of the starting 8, and then I think at like a certain level, you get to dip into another class, and that effectively becomes your specialization. And what happens when you pick that new class, right, is that I don't know if you get any new abilities from the second class that you pick, but what I do know is that all of your primary class abilities, right? So if you're a warlock, imagine you're a warlock and you've got like Shadow Bolt and Corruption and Summon Imp and all of that shit. All of those abilities get modified by, well, it just depends on what second class you pick, right? So if you're a warlock and you pick like Priest as your second class, maybe your imp will start to heal instead of damage, right? Or it'll have like a heal aura as well as doing damage. Or maybe your Shadow Bolt will, I don't know, apply some kind of big ass crazy debuff on the opponent that normally wouldn't apply. Or maybe your Corruption begins to heal allies who are around the corrupted target. It like drains health onto those guys and starts to heal them, you know? So you become a little bit more priestly, you know? So that's why it's so fucking interesting, right? It's so cool that you can kind of start off as one class, one archetype, and then you can kind of change gears and become more melee focused or something, or you can become more ranged focused, or you can have pets and summons as pretty much any class as well because of this new system as well. At least if I'm understanding it correctly. So I actually have opened the chat. So you can see all of the classes that exist in the game, and they all have really cool names. Are you kidding me, dude? Strider, fucking Duelist, goddamn Dreadnought. What else we got, man? Telsword, Scryer, Enchanter, Argent, Spell Shield, Trickster. Are you fucking kidding me, man, with these names? These are so badass. These sound so cool, you know? And my head is just going crazy with all of the ideas of what these classes might play like, you know? Obviously, Shaman's on there as well. And Warlock is actually on there too. Warlock is a combination of Mage and Summoner, right? So, I don't know, it doesn't sound very Warlocky to me, you know what I'm saying? A Mage and a Summoner? Ugh, no, man, I'm not sure that I'm that hyped about what this game thinks Warlock is gonna be, you know? It sounds a little bit too magey to me, to be honest. But so what classes am I really interested in playing? Let me know, by the way, what classes you guys are stoked about playing, just based on these names. Maybe you've done a lot more research than me. I don't really know what these classes do. I'm not really very well versed on what kind of abilities each class is going to get, and how, you know, if you start off as, say, a fighter and dip into mage, so you become a spell sword. I don't know how your abilities are going to change and get augmented by that. And I'm trying to avoid that, you know? I'm trying to avoid that. I kind of want to go into this game somewhat spoiler-free when it does launch. I don't want to read into things too much. And I just want to take it as it comes and discover it as I play in likely 2 or 3 years from now. So, yeah. So which classes look interesting to me, look the most interesting to me? honestly, dude, from the 8 primary classes, I'm like really, really drawn to Summoner. Obviously, right? That's probably comes as a surprise to nobody. Playing Warlock all this time and WoW and it being a pet class primarily. But also Bard. Bard and Summoner seem so interesting to me, dude. Bard just because when I think of like a Bard class, it makes me think of a shitload, almost like Lucio in Overwatch, right? A lot of AoE abilities, a lot of AoE buffs, a lot of AoE healing, and I can only imagine that large-scale Zerg-like PvP is going to be a big thing in this game, and I can just see in my head buffing the shit out of like 80 fucking people, with one button, and sounding the charge and everybody going in, huge fucking Zergfest. Like, imagine playing Alterac Valley, but every single one of your abilities is an AoE. Like, I don't know if Bard is going to play like that, but that sounds fucking cool, like mitigating damage on everybody and buffing their damage and enraging them and increasing their attack speed and then boost their movement speed and all of that stuff. And it just sounds fucking cool, man. It just sounds cool if there is, large-scale PvP on that skill. The reason Summoner sounds good is because you just sound self-sufficient. Summoner just sounds fun. It just sounds good, man. A lot of the time in these games, like especially in WoW, I was very much just a solo player. Like I just wanted to be left alone. Get my goddamn gear, then I'm out, man. I'm out. I don't want to play RBGs anymore. I didn't want to arena anymore. I was like, I just want to queue fucking BGs, blast some sweet tunes, and just smash the shit out of idiots, man, and record it, And that's all I wanted to do. So Summoner feels like it could be alright for that, depending on what you go into with your subclass, right? Because obviously there are 8 variations of Summoner and 8 variations of Bard. So the ones that look the most interesting to me from there, for Bard, I think that what even sounds good for Bard, man? Bard and Cleric, Soulweaver, sounds really, really fucking cool. That sounds awesome. Bard and Bard, Minstrel, sounds really, really cool. Hell, man, Bard and Summoner even, actually. Songcaller, are you kidding me, dude? Fucking Songcaller Cobrak. That sounds fucking sick, man. I'm pumped to try out all of these, honestly. I'll probably end up going with Summoner, at least, as my first character. Probably, just because it feels like the more safe bet, right? And for Summoner, Summoner and Bard, Enchanter, it sounds fucking sick. Summoner and Cleric, Necromancer, yeah, it's a little bit edgelord for me, I've kind of grown out of that edgelord phase. You guys play a lot more MMO action than me, I know that whenever Necromancers are released in the game, everyone gets hyped about it, but I feel like I've kind of been there and done that a little bit, Summoner and Mage, Spellmancer, sounds fucking sick. And Summoner, Conjurer. All of those just sound so fucking cool, man. And yeah, in case you can't tell, I'm excited to try out a lot of fucking shit in this game when it eventually rolls out. Some of you guys actually expressed in the comments some concerns about what the combat looks like so far in this game based on what we've seen. I'm not too worried about it yet, purely because, first of all, the only combat we've seen is like some duels from like between developers, and developers they just suck at the game. Always. It doesn't matter what game it is, they're always terrible at their own game, So I'm not too worried about that. I'm also not too worried about the fact that some of the abilities looked clunky, because let's be real, man, there are going to be hardcore cookie cutter builds, especially for PvP, man. I know that you can kind of pick and choose your abilities for your class and what you're going to have on your hotbar and the active abilities you're going to have based on a focus on tab targeting, like real-time action targeting and like AoE, so you can very much change the way that your character plays, right? And let's be real, all of the PvP builds, all the PvP specs are gonna be tab target, man. You got to, unless it's like a super powerful ability that you can land quickly while someone is like stunned or slowed or rooted, right? Then basically all of your abilities are gonna be tab target, because you need to guarantee them landing in competitive PvP at least. Obviously, large-scale PvP, you can go for like a big AoE build, and that could be really, really fun as well, but I'm not too concerned about about the combat right now, because it's also early days as well, right? So what we've got is a bunch of devs who suck playing the game, right? with builds that are probably so badly optimized, like, once the game's been out for 6 months, it'll make you vomit to watch that footage back from the duels that the developers have done. And also, the game is like fucking 2 years away from release, man. So I'm not too worried about it. Man. As long as the combat is okay, you know, and feels smooth and responsive, that's all we need, man. And they've got plenty of time to work on that. And I think that they're hearing people's complaints on that as well, and people's worries on that. So, yeah, man. I'm not too concerned about it. I'm fucking pumped, man. So, yeah, maybe leading up to the release, actually, I might end up doing something like response videos to the developer updates and stuff like that. Maybe that's something you guys would be interested in. The developers do like a monthly live stream at this point in time. So maybe after every live stream, or maybe during the live stream, I can just watch along and give some feedback, give my thoughts, give my reactions live to the live stream, and then kind of like post that up, you know, edit it down. Obviously, I don't want to make you guys sit through like an hour and 40 minutes. It'll probably be like 20 minutes where, you know, I talk about the highlights, what I think are the highlights of the stream. Maybe that's something that you guys would be interested in, man. If not right now, maybe in the future once we're a little bit closer to release. You know what I'm saying? That's my thoughts on Ashes of Creation and class selection. Bard and Summoner all the way. Probably Summoner. And then probably Bard and Summoner hybrid. Like Bard primary, Summoner secondary. I think is what... The other way around. Summoner primary, Bard secondary. I think is what I'm leaning towards. If I go hard on the PvP, it'll probably be Summoner Mage. Because that just feels like... Yeah. That just feels good. That just feels like it could be grand. I know that mages have blink effects, you know? That's my thoughts so far, man. I could ramble on a lot more about this game and the things I've seen about it so far, but I don't want to make the entire video about Ashes of Creation, at least not just yet. Not on this occasion, anyhow. Because this is Sundays with Cobb, for fuck's sake. We've got some other questions to get to, man. So... there's some crisp water, man. Not really, it's kind of room temperature. We got the next question in from member Timmy Elgbro. And he asks, this was actually from last week, but there's just no room to answer this one. Same with a lot of questions after this. Do you ever regret moving country, or do you feel like it was something that you guys needed? So, there was actually a couple of you guys, including Mr. AA and somebody else, I believe, who were also asking about, you know, moving country and what it's been like and blah, 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 and the motivations behind the move and all that kind of stuff. And for me, it was really just about having a major change in focus, about moving away from YouTube at that time, because I've been doing YouTube for like 7 years at that point, you know, maybe like 6 or 7 years. Before we actually moved over here. So we both were working with a company over here, Game Leap, goddammit, and I basically wanted to go fucking all in with this shit and see how hard we could push it, and it's paid off massively. It's been amazing, man. This entire experience, moving over here, working with these guys, obviously still with Game Leap today, creating fantastic products, you know. It's just fucking awesome. It's like a constant grind, it's a constant battle to stay on top, warring with competitors, all of that stuff, you know. It's so exciting, pushing yourself in the high stakes, and it's crazy, man. I needed something like that. I needed to get away from YouTube big fucking time and change my focus, because I'd done YouTube for so long, man. And honestly, man, between you and me, right? This might be controversial, man, but I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna say it. I don't know how these fucking people who have done nothing but play and stream WoW for like 10 years do that shit, man. How do they do that shit? You know what's crazy, man? You go on Twitch and you see the same people as streaming WoW that was streaming WoW in like fucking early Wrath, and they're still going, you know? Or like even earlier than that. And it's just fucking insane, man. It's insane. Are they really enjoying it that much, dude? Like, maybe they are, man. Maybe they are. And if they are, more power to them. But Jesus Christ, man. Like, I could not do that, man. I could not play WoW for like another month at that point in time. I just needed a fucking clean break, man. And to get the hell away. So that's what I did. So yeah, moved over here to Bulgaria. Moved over here for work. Since then, I have... Goddamn, man. The ways in which I've changed and grown. I wouldn't even know how to put it into words, honestly. I mean, maybe you guys can even see a slight difference in me in the way that I deliver videos. Perhaps even in my accent a little bit. I get that sometimes. Since, you know, we were really going hard with uploads way back in Legion, I'd become 10 times more politically aware is the first fucking thing. And I won't go too much into that, man, because politics is just not a conversation that's... It's not a conversation that cannot be incendiary. Obviously, I've started going to the gym, started working out, became a lot more health conscious as well. I've actually gone up, right, from 65 kilos to like 78 kilos since I started working out, man. So I put on all kinds of weight, man. And it's good weight, and I'm fucking hyped about it. I'm fucking pumped about it, you know? That's been a long-ass journey, changing the way that you eat, changing the way you think about food, and just getting addicted to the fucking pump, and to hitting the gym, and to pushing it, and to the sweat, and the... It's fucking awesome, dude. Oh my god. That's probably the biggest thing that's changed about me, honestly. Because the thing is, once you start going to the gym, I think I said this in last week's episode, but 70% of the gains you make are all up here, you know? So you become a way more confident person. And what the hell else? I don't know, man. All I know is that things are grand, okay? Things are grand. I really, really cannot regret moving here in any way at all. It's just been fucking sweet. And I'd highly recommend that y'all grab life by the horns, you know, grab the bull by the horns and do whatever the hell it takes, you know, to do what? To live fully. To live fully. Don't shelter yourself too much, you know. If there's something a little bit crazy that you want to do, I highly recommend that you think about it a lot and then just fucking pull the trigger, man. Just pull the trigger if you think there's even a chance that it could be good for you, man. Because it'll work out. It'll work out. And if it doesn't, you'll have a good story to tell, as long as you're not homeless. And, well, you still have a good story to tell, but you'll be homeless, so you won't have a computer to upload it to YouTube on. Mr. Jin, also a cobbler, what's up, man? Thank you so much for the support. Asks, I'm curious about what your goals/plans are for the future, man. And how's Pingu? 2 questions in one. The first one, what are my goals and plans for the future? Well, I've got gym goals and weight goals. I want to hit 80 kilos. That'll be the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Again, in a good way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fucking stoked to try and do that. I'm eating like a madman right now. I'm trying to fit in 5 moderate meals a day. And I know that that's... Christ, man, if you're out there and you're like fucking twice my weight and you're like a goddamn gym bro, you know, then that probably seems like nothing. But to me, that's kind of tough, man. That's kind of tough, you know. That's a push for me. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to hit 80 kilos in the gym. In terms of writing... and my writing projects that I'm currently working on, I'm still currently working on a novel, on a book. And I'm around 70% done with the first draft, man. So we are beelining for the big finish, man, with this one. I'll probably let it rest like a month after that. Then we'll go back, do some developmental edits, do some line edits, try to polish it up as much as we can. And I would love to at least try and start to maybe, dude, for the first time, get into publishing. See if we can get published, man, this year. That would be sick. I think this year is obviously a little bit unrealistic, but I'd like to at least be able to submit a manuscript for publishers to look at before the end of this year. And that would be fucking awesome, man. But a little bit more about the book, actually, in the next question, because some of you guys were asking about that as well, so... yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about that too. What else are my goals though, man? Continue to fucking push hard at work. God damn it. I'm a pretty significant workaholic, you know? I like to keep myself busy at all times with as many different projects as I can handle. Oftentimes too many for me to handle, you know? But yeah, I could tell you what my goals are for work, but I probably shouldn't, because it would involve bad mouthing. Yeah, let's not even go there. Yeah, I can't really tell you what my plans are for work, for what my exact goals are for work, and for what I want to achieve, and what I want to have happen, and what I want to see. Fuck it. It involves the destruction of some competitors. That's what I'll say, man. And the last part of your question was, and how's Pingu? Well, I wish I could fucking tell you, but the sorry son of a bitch hasn't been, I think I've spoken to him like one time this year for like 30 minutes. And before that, it was like a couple of months before that where we spoke to him one time for about 45 minutes. And then the time before that was like 2 months before that or something. So I've spoken to Pingu like twice in like 8 months. And it's just because he's just fucking whipped, man. No, fuck it, I don't give a shit, man. I'm gonna leave that in, man. Hey, Pingy, if you're fucking watching this, stop being such a little son of a bitch, man. Get your fucking PC set up, okay? And play some fucking games, okay? Play some goddamn bit. What are you even doing? What do you actually do with your life now? Like, socially speaking. You know what I'm saying? You just watch Netflix all day? Is that it? Just watch TV? Fucking play some goddamn video games, man. You sorry son of a bitch. Nah, man, I miss Pingu, dude. I miss Pingu. I'm not even gonna go too much into it. Whatever, man. It's fucking... It's his private shit that's going on. His goddamn social life and his private life, his personal life, has been a train wreck for like fucking 9 years. So... it's nothing new, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of the way that he is. It's like his passive buff. Just Pinguism. Like, follows him around everywhere he goes. So... he's doing... Pingu's doing Pingu, man. But yeah, I miss the fucking idiot. I wish that he'd actually, get his ass on in game again, but it is what it is, man. I ain't gonna go fucking bugging him to get his ass online, I got better shit to do than that, man. If he wants to show up, he can fucking show up, man. Be a goddamn... I'm not even going to go there. Next question comes in from the Deliverer. How is your writing going during these busy times? And yeah, a couple of more of you guys as well also asked about this too. So, oh my goodness, dude. Where do I even begin, dude? Okay, so first of all, I'm very, very, very happy with what I am currently writing. It's going to be a very, very long debut novel if I ever do get this one published, which means that it's going to be very, very hard to publish. Very, very difficult to get a book published if it's super long and it is your debut. Just because publishers don't know whether to trust you or not, you've got no track record. So I don't know that this will ever get formally published. Maybe I can self-publish it. I don't fucking know. But I'm very, very pleased with it, man. I'm very, very pleased with it, which is a good sign. Because usually I get halfway through whatever it is that I'm writing to like the 50% mark and I lose interest, man. I lose interest. I'm just like, man, I feel like I know exactly how this is going to end. I feel like the initial impetus that made me start writing this, the initial feeling and emotion that I tapped into to get me writing this book has kind of withered out a little bit. It's like a song that you've listened to too many times and it's just noise at this point. And yeah, man, you can write it, man, but it's not gonna get you sweating while you write. It's not gonna get your blood pumping. It's not gonna get you hot in the cheeks. It's not gonna get you antsy. It's not gonna make you angry if someone interrupts you while you're in the flow, and the passion just kind of drips away. But not with this one, dude. Not with this one, man. So what I'm currently writing is a book that kind of borrows a lot of the mood and world building style from the likes of Dark Souls, Salt and Sanctuary, a little bit of Darkest Dungeon maybe. I don't know. It's a very, very grim, dark fantasy. A lot of cursing, a lot of violence, a lot of blood, and a lot of morally grey characters. So the pretense of the story, very, very simply, is as follows. The end time tried to occur. The end time came, plagues were sweeping the land, and the world was effectively ending, as far as everybody could tell. Until a mysterious figure known only today as the Pontiff literally did battle with the god of death itself, slayed the god of death, which is why the event is referred to as the Godfall, and effectively forestalled the end time. Now, in the beginning, this seemed like a really, really good thing. Everybody stopped dying of the plague, right? People stayed sick for a little while, but it was like nobody could die. It's almost like death itself stopped being a thing. It's almost like the gates to the afterlife were shut closed, right? Nobody can die in this world. Nobody can die. Not fully. Not properly. Anyway, our story takes place 18 years after the events of the end time and the subsequent Godfall. So 18 years after the Godfall is when our story takes place. And since then, the world has fallen into a state of rot. No one can die? That doesn't sound so bad, right? Yeah, well, new children can't be born either. Women are all infertile. It doesn't matter how old you get, how sick you get, how many terrible injuries you sustain. You just can't quite get there, man. You just can't quite get there, okay? What you can do is lose your fucking mind and go completely mad. So what's eventually happened as the decades have worn on is that injuries that would have normally killed people have basically rendered them into zombies. And these zombies, known as skinwalkers, basically rove the nights. They infest the forests. Entire cities that kind of collapsed and fell overnight as skinwalkers swarmed them have become kind of infested also. And there are very, very few fully living, fully mortal cities actually left functioning in the world, and almost all of them have very, very high walls. So by various means, our cast of characters, again, all of them with rather questionable motives, become embroiled in a quest to attempt to revive the Death God. Okay, to revive the Death God. So you can imagine that not a lot of people are happy about this, man. There's a lot of people who are afraid of the return of the Death God, okay? And what it might actually mean. Will it reignite the end time? Will it kill all of them? What happens to... No one knows what's going to happen when the Death God comes back. Will it be pissed? Will it be grateful to the people who brought it back? Will it spare them? And of course, as if reviving the Death God wasn't challenge enough itself, but there's also a mysterious fog that covers the night. Every time night falls, this mist sweeps in, and if you spend any longer than a night or two in this fog, you straight up go fucking insane. You lose your mind. We're talking some Lovecraftian shit, right? The fog is very, very much, at this point in time, an enigma. It's a mystery. Nobody knows really where it comes from, only that it began a few years after the events of the Godfall and the fall of the Death God. And so that is the pretense of the book. It's our characters' quest to make their way to the site of the Godfall, if you like, and to do what they can to revive the Death God and stop this insanity, this deathless insanity, this zombie plague, call it what you want, from sweeping over the rest of the world and eventually, in time, wiping out and possessing everybody. So yeah, like I said, it's such an exciting goddamn story to write, partially because I'm not quite sure, not 100% decided just yet on who's going to live and who's going to die, man. On who's going to make it, you know? And when I say die, I mean become a fucking zombie, become a ghoul, you know what I'm saying, before the end. I have a lot of things planned out, and it's helping me write it quickly, but there's some things that are kind of undecided, and that's always exciting too. As always, when I write as well, there are some characters that just pop off the fucking page, and I don't know what that is. It's still such an exciting mystery, you know, to anyone who does anything artistic. When you do something that you think is just going to be routine and, oh, we need a character to fulfill this role and to provide us with this information or this context or this new point of view or whatever. And then that character comes onto the page and they just fucking dominate the goddamn scene, and it's like, yes, man, I want to see more of this guy or this gal. And it's like, they just kind of bullhead their way into the story, you know? And there's a couple of characters like that as well. Maybe it's also pertinent to note as well, for anybody who gives a damn about this kind of thing, the story is also written in dual perspectives, meaning that we tend to alternate one chapter from this character's point of view, one chapter from this character, next chapter back to that character, blah, 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 blah. So the perspective is kind of changing chapter on chapter. And the two primary point of views that I am going with, one is called Creighton. Creighton is a miserable, kind of washed up, haggard cutthroat who's well past his prime. He's extremely, extremely cynical, quite funny, honestly, in just how fucking savage he can be sometimes. Sometimes so goddamn brutal that you're just like, wow, man, was that really necessary to put it that bluntly, you know? But that's fucking great, man. Doesn't give a shit about anybody, you know? So he's a very, very interesting character to write motivations for, let's put it that way, man. To see how he gets kind of embroiled in this mission, in this quest to revive the nameless god. And the second point of view is from Kara. Kara is a young thief, young street urchin, young orphan, who kind of got pulled into this quest through guilt. It's not too much of a spoiler to say how, but effectively, she got her fellow orphans zombified. Things didn't end well for them, and it was very, very much on the back of her cowardice. She very much abandoned them, and now they are roaming the plains of Varamar as skinwalkers, as zombies. And a very, very interesting thing, I think at least, about the zombies that I am writing is that, I mean, they're effectively just very insane, half-rotted people, okay? They're not slow-walking zombies or some shit like that, right? No, these zombies are quick, they're animalistic, and they remember things. They remember people. They remember faces. They remember the people who wronged them in life, and they come looking for them, right? So, Kara's motivation, it's quite the hair-raising one, man. It's quite the hair-raising one, you know? She's very literally, very, very literally haunted by her past. So, two very, very interesting point of view characters. The way that their stories kind of intertwine is super hype as well for me to write, you know? I've got a goddamn cat hair on my tongue. Bleh. It's gone. And yeah, that's how the book's going, man. That's how the book's going. It's a fucking long one. It's a marathon, but man, this could be the one, man. This could be the one. I'm so fucking excited, you know, to finish this one. So yeah, that's how the book's going. And the last question comes in from Bob. Oh yeah, I should also mention as well, just real fast. Some of you guys were asking about audiobook, ? I'd like to do a couple of chapter readings, just to see how it goes. You know? Like, it might even be useful just for me to listen to it back and just hear how things sound and hear how, like, how the diction sounds when it's actually read out loud and, you know, and all that kind of stuff, you know, see if there's enough rhythm to the writing and stuff. So, it could be useful for me. Maybe some of you guys would want to listen to a chapter or two and see what you guys think, give some feedback. That would be incredible. But yeah, just to touch on that. Last question comes in from Bob Have. And this is going to be a very, very short one, but hey, are you going to use your blog channel again or using this one? Yeah. So you're probably talking about Cob Talk, the second channel I made that I was just going to spam vlogs on. Yeah, it was just kind of like a failed experiment on my part. I didn't maintain it well at all, and I need to remove those links from my video descriptions and stuff like that because I just fucking keep on forgetting and I suck. So yeah, I'm going to be keeping everything on this channel pretty much going forwards. Maybe when Ashes comes out and Ashes releases, maybe we'll create a new channel just for Ashes of Creation content. I'm really not sure. It's way too far off in the future to know that for sure. But for now, everything is going to stay right here on this channel. Keep things nice and simple. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you all enjoyed this goddamn Sunday's episode. I think it's quite the long one. Hopefully not too long, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully it was enjoyable to listen to as well. As always, plop any questions that you got for next week's episode down below in the goddamn comments. Look forward to reading those, but do enjoy the rest of your day. I shall catch all of you guys just a tad bit later.